folks, I'm absolutely spent. I'm completely exhausted after 3 weeks of rut hunting. The boys have been good. It's been challenging. It hasn't all just been an easy circus, I tell you what. But when you can pull a few animals after adverse conditions and challenging patches without seeing many of them, oh, that's a good feeling, folks. It's a really good feeling. Taking the day to sort a few things out, get a big cook on before work next week, bunch of meals sorted out, getting a lovely head boiled out and all of that. But the one thing I'm doing today more than anything is just reflecting hard. And there's one story that I've been really keen to share with all of you that's come out of this period. And it's not really my story. It's a story about a guy named Dave. Some of you might know Dave. DTB Adventures. You might see that on Instagram. You might have even seen it on YouTube. And Dave's sharing his hunting journey. The boys is an exciting one. I was lucky enough. I had the chance to reach out to Dave because I could see that he was really charging hard on a red deer hunting journey, and I wanted to talk to him about that. I asked him out for a beer, and he fires back at me and says, "Well, actually, let's go fishing." And the thing that he added to that was, "I don't mind if it's a hell mission." I don't think our day out fishing was a hell mission, but I just thought it was cool that he didn't mind something that could be unbelievably challenging to get into, and that set a certain tone for the hunt that you're about to see, folks. This is just my side. This is my perspective of the hunt, and in time you may very well get to see Dave's through his media and his channel, and here's the time to put that up. We realised that we had pretty much the same goals and objectives for our last week of March, and they managed to align in a way that we camped together and shared the majority of our hunt together, guys. So here I am sharing my perspectives of that with you now. Hope you guys enjoy.
Go. Thanks for letting me run it. Oh, dude, he's... Oh, man! Yes!
Oh, what a day.
Oh, dude.
That.
Yes.
That was the spot.
Close. Dude, that's a great fish. That's a great fish, man.
Wow.
Alrighty, rut spot, Mark 5. I'll be in very good company for it. Haven't caught up with Legend yet because he's out and about. He's having a sniff about, and what I'm going to do is just go just to the lip here and just listen. Just see if this is the night when they break their silence. They'll have to break it eventually. They will. Anyway, let's see what happens. These torrential. It's rut weather, and it will prime the bush for when it gets good. Just a bit camp bound with stir crazy right now. That's fine. Looking into some big country here, and I'm really hoping that this camera they've got down the bottom will just help synthesise my understanding of this patch, whether or not this is where we stay, or we adjust the plans for the next couple of days. Thankfully we've got the sun out for the first time in a little while. Dave's got plans to listen. He's checking out some country down here. I'm going to go down at the very bottom, but I don't want to dwell down the very bottom. I want to have to smell everything out. We want to just... If I hunt traditionally, then I'm abandoning the advantage of them opening up eventually. We still haven't heard a roar. It's getting pretty late in March for that, but that's the game. They will start in their own good time. Anyway, frothing it, chomping at the bit. I've got gold in my hands. I was so scared that this would be the same as the last camera I picked up, which had one video for 6 months. This thing ran out at 1600. I thought, well, that's got to be a stick, doesn't it? No. I just started flicking back, got through about 100 pictures back. All wildlife. Well, that was one of the most awesome trail cam sets I've had. It was just fantastic, actually. One real clear learning from the gully I've just been looking in is that those deer, as many as there are, they cleared out by mid-January. They went looking for hinds, and there was not a single hind on any of those cameras. That's very telling. I know hinds hang out one system over, and I mean a proper system over, so I might have to reallocate my attention. But as the rut progresses, just because there's hinds in one place and they all work around that, they start to move on, they start to smash through. Like, you know, particularly bigger stags, they'll take a couple and they'll just shift them out of the system. It's like, get their prize and leave, because sex is a lot more fun than fighting. Don't you agree? Exploiting every gap in the weather that we possibly can. There's every chance that we're walking back in the wet today, but we just want to get one camera in. Poor Dave here, he's had a soggy morning, but it's not perturbing him. This is the joy of having a Chinese laundry at camp, aka a Subaru with the air conditioning on. But we still haven't heard noise yet, and you know, it's hard to fight through those emotions. I've been fortunate enough to be in the situation before where I felt this before, and then roaring came and success on deer came, so I'm lucky to anchor that. But that doesn't mean that I'm not feeling, I don't know, a little antsy about it. You can say the water's running, we've got a big rain day tomorrow, but all we can do to re-prep ourselves is have gear ready to exploit these weather windows.
Really good to be warm and dry, but it has been days of this now, and we keep poking out mid-weather windows, and we're trying to be as efficient as possible and work with what we have, and it's been difficult, I'm not going to lie. Sun beating down on this face, it should build a thermal. It's going completely the opposite way. Typical bloody mountain. Swirling winds.
there. Might have to go up. Ah, bugger. Because that'll be like a bit of a meat safe thing to kind of rescue the end of the hunt. I mean, I got some goat meat the other day, probably enough for me, but Dave, he might very well want some. Anyway, long way up here to go still, so I'm gonna go. Well, we're both up with at least another hour before it gets light. Breakfasted and coffeeed up. And we're ready to rock and roll. Man, it's a cold change this morning. And that's a good thing. Hopefully this is the switch. Hopefully this is the key. If this doesn't turn them on roaring, well, I guess I'll have to eat my beanie. Finally eyes on. Finally eyes on Reds. Finally eyes on. Oh, so we're at this point where it's day 8 for Dave, day 7 for me. We've finally just glassed up these hinds on this face, and I've slipped on my bum and I haven't been able to film it. I've just bursted being frustrated. And I'm just thinking, well, where are they heading? Where are they heading? And there was an older type of me. You know, this is me hunting 5 years ago, where chasing them down would get you your animal and would fill your freezer. And there was part of me thinking, well, you know, let's just get the beat on them. And I started jogging around just to try and see where I could, you know, they could move to. And Dave was like, well, actually, I'm keen to glass and just see if there's a stag following them. And, you know, that's the way to do it. But it was very clear that, you know, I was almost ready to cut my losses. Dave was not. He was not out to cut his losses. He was committed. And whatever he was going to shoot was going to have antlers on it. And that was good when we reset that and returned to the same glassing spot. And funnily enough, you know, another 10 minutes on that spot, I saw some pigs come across the same face. You know, there was plenty for us to be gained there, but also not to lose our advantage, not to lose our overwatch position on this area. Did not produce the stag. We repositioned yet again. I'll keep showing you. Well, how many days have you been out here now?
7, possibly 8.
Yes. And this is the first we've actually seen, which initial impressions of this patch of country were kind of inspired by like bulk rubs, like hundreds and hundreds of them.
Just line after line, bright red rubs.
It's a really interesting change. I can only put it down to dry weather and things like that. It's just a bit of a blunt, easy one, but it's not like they're not here though. We've seen them this morning.
The cameras have shown that there's stags and they're here. Slowly chipping away, slowly. There's
just a little bit to keep us here. So that's like, it kind of gives you a scale of the neck and the height of the rub up and down. Because when they got their necks, they have to have their necks right down to do it. That gives a scale of exactly the span of antler and all that kind of thing. And I think it's a bit of a clean-up job, you know, like just really just wiping in between each of the tines and things like that. I'm excited again. Good. Whatever it takes, man. Got tent set up. Dave's gone one way, I'm going the other. The way I am going is a bit of unfinished business. This is, I don't know, the remainder of a plan I wanted to do last year. And a camera to put there. I intended to have a camera there, and I did for a little bit, but not long term. This one will stay for a while. With any luck, there might be some big stags walking past it too. They can do that today, or tomorrow if they like. They're more than welcome. Very good. Hear that? Dave's just shot something. Now I did put up pigs before. It could have been that. But if it's a deer, I'm so happy for you, man. I'm happy for you anyway, but I'd be so fucking happy for you if it's a deer. I'm gonna just rest and let a few things just settle, see if anything runs this way, but then I'm gonna be back up. I'm gonna join them. On my way up, this moment all of a sudden caused me a bit of stress because I'd actually heard 3 shots from Dave's direction. And that is a universal signal for hunter distress, in case some of you don't know that already. And I only thought about this halfway up the hill. I've gone to the tent, I've got some extra gear, head torches and stuff. I'm thinking, I hope he responds back to the cooeys, and he did. What a beautiful thing to arrive at. Holy shit! Holy shit!
8 days. 8 days.
He's perfect!
Isn't he amazing?
I looked.
Oh,
I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of you, man. Holy shit!
Dude,
Look at him. Look at him.
Just like a textbook, like you see in like all the movies. It just walked straight in front of me. Like this absolute monster of a deer.
It was worth putting the backpacks on, wasn't it, man?
Oh man, it was worth every rainstorm, every lightning strike, every freezing wind, every saturated jacket. Just constantly going out, not stopping.
Empty days.
Just empty days. The cost, the fuel, time away from a partner, everything.
And the tease of the cameras, though.
And then knowing that they were here, seeing that they were here. I've never seen a red stag before today. I've never seen one in the forest. Oh my God.
Proud of this bloke. Couldn't be prouder. These are natural good times. A very beautiful thing to get out of your tent in the morning and to wake up to one of those in camp. Dave's done so damn well. That was I'm just so glad I got to be down there and see the animal whole before he had most of it cut up. Lots of ferrying trips in the middle of the night, and now we're gonna have to ferry it all the way back to main camp, but we've got some clever plans with all of that. Well, almost home time, but it's just nice to see him as he would have woken up this morning. Just a thing of beauty and perfection.
And he's just a beast.
And I think just from our limited uphill start to the carry out, I think we appreciate the rest of the day's work ahead of us.
I couldn't have asked for anything more. All this difficulty and time and all that, it's just worth everything that's gone into this.
Fuck yeah, man. So good to share this with you, mate. What a special thing.
So grateful. Thank you.
Oh, happiest days. Our good times are natural.
Woo!
Tell me when.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this. I'm just gonna come over. Just lift it up a little bit, mate.
Yep.
Yep, done. Awesome, thank you.
Nice. Now, to any younger or aspiring hunters out there, I beg you to just bask in Dave's excellent example here, an example of persistence, but most of all, a positive attitude. Because you know what, guys, our bush has literally the most world-class hunting and fishing opportunities out there, and they can be yours. If you set a mindset with a lower expectation but a very high ambition, and you put your mind to that, the story that you've just seen just now could so easily be your own. So you know what, if you want it, guys, what are you waiting for? Go bush, chase stags, harvest the meat of royalty, and get your good times natural. Anyway, see you in the next one. Well done. No.
Why would you want it to be? You gotta earn it.
Have a seat, man.
Oh.
Whoa, shit, mate.